Hi everybody, it is the 14th of June 2022 and we've just had notification that update 1.18 is live on the Xbox, PlayStation and PC servers. So in this video we're going to go through the blog posts from Bohemia Interactive, then we're going to go through the patch notes as well, just to see what it says and see if we can pick up on anything that we haven't seen already. So this is the blog post by Adam, the lead dev of DayZ. Greetings survivors, the time has come for update 1.18 to be released to a stable branch. We'd like to thank everyone who joined the experimental servers and helped us by playing and providing their feedback. We'd also like to offer some info regarding the update to the vehicle simulation. Interesting. While internal testing is in progress and the results look promising, we were unable to include it in the build for 1.18. Boo. We'll keep the community posted on the progress of experimental servers in the near future. Now, let's get to the rather explosive content of this update. We are very excited to introduce the first grenade launcher to DayZ, the legendary M79. The single-shot grenade launcher is able to deliver deadly 40mm fragmentation grenades up to a distance of 300 meters and opens up a whole new realm of possibilities for encounters. Beside the 40mm fragmentation grenades, we've also added 4 different smoke grenades, black, white, red and green, as well as one special type of grenade which you'll have to search for in contaminated areas. That's the gas grenade. Very nasty. We're also introducing the Claymore Mine, a new and remotely detonated directional mine. Scavenging industrial sites might produce plastic explosives, which need to be combined with a remote detonation unit in order to detonate them from a safe distance. Protector cases can be combined with the electrical repair kit to craft an improvised explosive device that can accept a variety of explosives and can be activated by using an alarm clock, kitchen timer, or the aforementioned remote detonation unit. I have done videos on all this, so if you just do a YouTube search or a Google search for how to make an IED in DayZ, one of my videos or someone else's will pop up and you see how to do it. It's very, very cool. Being unveiled for the first time as well is a new event item, the fireworks launcher. Commonly found in amusement parks, this item is ready to light up any party or be used perhaps as a distraction while dealing with the infected and other survivors. Aside from the explosions, we've added our smallest firearm to date as well. Derringer is a 2-barrel 357 pistol that can be hidden pretty much anywhere. Speaking of firearms, the revolver and the blaze rifle can now be sawn off. Now, a quick thing about the Derringer. There's the normal version and there's the pink and the black version, I'm going to say. So, where you'll find the pink one is you'll find them in dresses. So when you're going around, you know how you'd normally ignore dresses. Check out for the little plus that'll be next to them that tells you something's inside them, and that's where you'll probably find pink Derringers. I don't think they spawn normally. Speaking of firearms, the revolver and the blaze rifle can now be sawn off. You can now stumble upon a new type of dynamic event in the form of an abandoned train. This event makes the existing railway networks of Chernish Livonia worth travelling, as it adds new points of interest in areas that were relatively empty in the past. The trains come in a variety of types and spawn military, industrial and civilian loot. Some quality of life improvements have also been included in this update. PC players will welcome a more structured key binding menu with input categories, along with the ability to bind any gesture to any key, which is also supported by a radial menu that shows the active binds. Console players, meanwhile, now have more sensitivity options for their right controller stick. More details in our experimental article. And can see the sensitivity settings for the controller even when their mouse and keyboard are enabled. Server owners, yay, will be happy to hear that hundreds of static environment objects now have their spawnable config class, which means there are a lot more objects that can be used to customize the environment and overall experience for players. This is massive for console, because we can spawn in all sorts of props now for the map. You know, everything from sandbags to chairs to barbed wire to walls, loads of stuff. It's really, really cool. You're going to see some amazing custom builds coming up. The central economy has received an update as well and now allows users to spawn collections of objects which can be used in, but not limited to, cases like the abandoned trains. We can't wait to see what you create with these new tools. But wait, there's also some Steam achievements, flag armbands and more. If you feel like spoiling yourself, head on over to our official forums for the complete change notes, which we'll look at in a second. So yeah, so that's going to be interesting, this new way of spawning in stuff. So let's look at the notes. So we're going to look at the console update notes. Added. Abandoned trains dynamically spawning across Chernarus and Livonia. Basically in the loop around Chernarus, that's where you find them. M79 Grenade Launcher, 40mm Grenade Launcher ammunition, Derringer pistol, sword off revolver, sword off blaze, craftable improvised explosive device, plastic explosive, Claymore Mine, remote detonation unit, PO-X vial, so that's the gas grenade, fireworks launcher, craftable armbands from rags, gas canisters explode upon destruction, advanced sensitivity options for controller, game credits. Okay, there's loads of fixes. Let's jump ahead to changed. Increased base building resistance against explosive damage. That's really big. It's going to be much harder to break into bases now with grenades. And rotten meat now gets burned when smoked. It's now possible to skin dead chickens, rabbits, carp and mackerel with the screwdriver. Reduce the weight of the handheld and field transceivers. Decrease the inventory size binoculars from 3x3 to 2x2. Good. The sharpened wooden stick can now cause bleeding on targets. Halve the damage to cooking gear while cooking. Key binding menu now has input split into several categories to make it easier to navigate. PC. Adjusted position of rifles in the shoulder slots to reduce clipping with the character. Animations of character symptoms do not conflict with other animations anymore. Adjusted the modern compass to be more readable in sunlight. Good. That's been crap for ages. Adjusted colours of all raincoat-based armbands. Controller sensitivity options are now visible even when mouse and keyboard is enabled. Rename the restart button during unconsciousness to respawn. Server. So this is kind of for modders. Added CFG events group.xml to define groups of objects to spawn with dynamic events. Now we're going to have to play around with this to see what it does. It should be good. Added hundreds of static environment objects now have config class to be spawned by the server. Added DE loot attribute to events.xml. Child to define the amount of wanted dynamic events loot for a child instead of a default value. Not really sure what that means. Added spawn secondary attribute to events.xml. Child to define if the child should be spawning the secondary infected event. Again, I'm going to have to wait for someone to explain this. Added warning message when a definition in types.xml will be ignored. Added additional dynamic event setup, validation of warning messages. Added dynamic events now support spawning of dispatch from proto.xmls. Haven't got a clue what that means. Added dispatch and its children proxy from proto.xmls now have an additional attribute DE chance. So I guess that's dynamic event chance. A float value ranging from 0 to 1 to decide a chance of spawning at a dynamic event. Fixed ban list, whitelist and priority lists were cleared when the accompanied file was failed to be opened by the game. Fixed the enabled debug window was not fully displayed in certain situations. Fixed random loot spawned by dynamic events would persist after a server restart. Fixed a prevalent connection error resulting in connecting failed. Fixed rename the sharp wooden stick to sharp long wooden stick in the types.xml. Changed the game now has an error message and shuts down when it cannot find the world. And the known issues are 40mm impact grenades disappear after 6 seconds of airtime. So, there we go, peeps. DayZ update 1.18. Very exciting. All this explosive stuff. Looking forward to having fun with this. And what do you think? Put your questions and comments down below, and I'll see you again soon.